we kind of hinge everything around the word sapper, right? A sapper is a person who paves the way for others. They're a person who blazes the trail.
You get the mission prepared, you get your equipment prepared, and your soldiers prepared in a short amount of time, and you get the mission accomplished. You never quit.
Sapper is the finest engineer that America's Army has to produce. They essentially are the best of the best.
A sapper is actually a state of mind.
The spirit of this organization falls on the general sapper and the typical sapper who goes out there every single day and clears the roadways for our task force.
Sappers are the best, man. I mean, we blow up and we keep driving on.
Oh, Dark 30, traditional time for some of the tougher aspects of military training. Take a Zodiac F-470, which lists at 322 pounds, toss in 10 rucksacks at 35 pounds apiece, a couple of 10-gallon water containers, and you've got Boat PT. Welcome to the Waterborne Operations segment of the Sappear Leaders Course at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri.
Get it off your head. Get it up.
Start with a few exercises with the boat, then set off on a 1.5-mile race carrying the boat. Of course, if you get tired, you can rest.
It's not social hour, Sapper. Put, two, three, one. Flutter kick. You do a flutter kick.
1, 2.
Maybe even frolic in the water as dawn begins to break.
4.
At the end, you carry your instructors triumphantly across the finish line. Or not so triumphantly.
Somebody may want to relieve that guy in the back. Obviously, he's supposed to
Finish it all off with some cool-down exercises.
Stop making those disgusting sounds.
To get you ready for another race, this one on the water.
All for one, Sam. Push him off. Get him out of there.
Let's go, Hughes. Get it together.
Before coming ashore, there's one more test, a capsize drill. Students have to flip their boats, then right them. All of this is for a deadly serious purpose, to harden and prepare leaders to take a wide range of skills to the battlefield.
Right the boat.
By the way, the boat that finished first on land came in last in the water.
Right the boat.
You got like 5 minutes to square this doggone patrol away, or we'll blow you out of here and we'll start it off again. Roger? Yes, sir. You on the clock.
Day 3 of the Sappear Leader Course's field training exercise, a long-range patrol through a rugged stretch of the Ozark Mountains. It's a grueling 4-day ordeal with little food or sleep. It's also the student final exam, and it must be passed if they're to earn a Sapper tab.
I'm gonna tell y'all what, it's on you. You're writing your own grade today. You might want to be squared away today, all of you. We have to enforce the standard as NCOs here, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. Now there's different ways that you can do it. I just have my ways of doing it. Some people are softer and gentler. I'm kind of not that way.
Hey, platoon song. Say pop. That's your head popping out your ass right now. You need to square this away, like right now.
Platoon and squad leadership positions are rotated through the 46 students in this class. It's the students' job to execute a series of missions. Operations plans must be prepared and issued.
Okay, enemy situation. The Darien and rebel forces are positioning supplies and equipment for planned attacks on U.S. forces.
And I've started going towards the vantage points which I chose.
It's the instructor's job, called a walker during the patrol, to stand back, observe, evaluate, and keep the pressure on.
And then I wouldn't probably sit on my ass. I'd probably get up here and checking on security.
They're exposed to obstacles and all types of different tasks here that build that confidence in leadership. They find out about themselves. They find out about, each other. They find out, hey, if I'm hungry and tired, I've had sleep in 2 days, I can still move out and execute that mission.
Hey, you with the AT-4, you're dead. Get out, Gruelling. Get down. You don't want to get down behind cover and concealment, you're dead.
Hey, pick up that cavalry!
The platoon suffers casualties and has to cross a stream under attack. Fortunately, the water is down and they don't have to throw up a temporary bridge. On this patrol, what comes down must go back up. On the other side of the stream, a 90-foot vertical ascent. The mission called for the entire platoon to be on top of the cliff by 2030. Cadet Caleb Edwards was acting as assistant platoon leader.
He asked me what time I thought I could do it in. I said, oh, we'd probably get it done by 1930.
I think that would be impressive.
He asked me if I'd be willing to bet my chow on that. So I was like, yeah, I'll bet my chow. I didn't know I was betting the whole platoon's chow.
I played his words against him a little bit, and I said, so you're willing to bet your patrol's chow, all of it, for the day? Alrighty. We've got the ball rolling. Yeah, I put him in that dilemma. You know, what would you do in that particular situation? Are you willing to risk everything that your men, you know, have on the line? Food. And are you willing to put your, you know, a little bit of yourself forward?
It made us work a whole lot harder. We didn't make the hit time, but everyone took it pretty good. They weren't too mad at me.
We didn't make that hit time, but we're gonna make our hard time. So, mission's still gonna be success, minus chow. The medics were just informing us on, or recommending types of things to eat, because we were talking about eating berries. So, they said they recommend eating insects, higher in protein and less likely to get poisoned.
Hey, you tied it, you ride it.
No.
We ate at 5 o'clock in the morning 2 days ago, and then we ate this morning around 6. So it was a good meal this morning.
The grueling pace of the patrol wears on even the best conditioned soldiers.
Gotta be the heavy rucksacks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Heavy rucksacks.
Takes a toll on your body. Weighed down with about 60 to 80 pounds at a time.
Give or take, any day, yeah.
This has definitely pushed me to my limits. I'm like, dang, they weren't kidding, you know, and they said the wrecks were heavy and, you know, days were long.
By this point, some are drifting off even in daylight. The nights have been an even bigger challenge. Take the sapper who struggled with sentry duty on night 3.
He's just, you know, he's bobbing back and forth, and I guess he finally went to sleep and hit the ground. And you could hear it all over. People just hitting the ground.
Your stuff is supposed to be inside your Alice pack.
What's going on at this point?
Walkers rotate every 24 hours during the patrol. They end with a critique of students' leadership performance during their shift.
What was you doing? Sleeping. Sleeping. And you as a leader should have known I need to get up and take a knee. I hate when they don't do good, you know. Right. He may not have gotten to go on his patrol, but he may have learned something, you know, valuable lesson, something he can still take back to his unit with him. Stay motivated, Sapper.
All right, son.
You know, I guess what I'm having trouble with too.
I can always find something wrong, but I think, you know, it really takes something to find something right about an individual and help them see what's right in them, and then help that individual improve, helping them become better leaders.
Frigid, late January afternoon in New York City, and it's mustering in time at the National Guard Armory in Midtown Manhattan. These soldiers are members of the 69th Infantry Division, the Fighting 69th as it's been known since the Civil War. Many of them are veterans of Iraq, but tonight they'll all volunteer to appear as extras in the blockbuster movie I Am Legend starring Will Smith. It's set in New York, and they'll be acting as crowd control during a fictionalized evacuation of the city.
You're pretending to be who you are, so they want us to be soldiers. We are soldiers. So, and sometimes our normal reactions may not be exactly what they're looking for, so the director might be, you know, I know you guys would do this a little in one way, but try to do things a little bit different because it is a movie, so we have to adjust a little bit.
Well, from my end, now I can really see how all the extras come in, how they constantly cut, reset. I mean, it takes so much time, hours, just for 1 minute of the film.
10 minutes.
A major movie set has some similarities to a military exercise. Among other things, it involves transporting large numbers of personnel and a lot of reset time punctuated by short bursts of activity.
Mommy, they have guns! It's okay, baby, they're in the Army like Daddy.
In this movie, a pandemic is ravaging the city, and Manhattan is being quarantined. Underneath the Brooklyn Bridge, the evacuation of the healthy is beginning.
Coming through, coming through, coming through!
Fortunately, we've never had to evacuate New York City because of virus or monsters or anything like that. But if we did, this is probably how we do it. It'd be a combined force with Navy, Coast Guard, military. And the actual troops that we're using here is the 69th Regiment of the New York Army National Guard, which would be the ones who would actually evacuate or assist in the evacuation of the city.
Get your hands off of my wife! Get your hands off of my wife!
Will Smith plays an Army Lieutenant Colonel escorting his family toward the waiting Coast Guard helicopter.
They give him some problems escorting his wife off the barge because she hasn't cleared an eye retina scan or something like that.
Scan her again! Scan her again! Stand down!
She clears, he gets her off the barge, she gets evacuated by chopper. At that time, there's total chaos in the city. The Brooklyn Bridge is being blown up. At that time, the crowd becomes hostile, and I say my line, return to shore, do not approach the barge, or you'll be fired on.
Of course, the guardsmen don't really fire on the crowd because they wouldn't in a real crisis. But the presence of the soldiers and military equipment gives the filmmakers something they desperately want in this science fiction film.
We're trying to be very authentic when it comes to evacuation procedures and the participation of military personnel and how the actions of the armed forces would be part of sort of the attempt to quarantine and preserve a city in this moment of crisis. And although we've taken some liberties, having real military personnel allows us a truthful feeling.
When you get the personnel and they've gone through military training and, you know, they know the gear and they know the uniforms and, you know, there's just an air of realism and naturalism that comes with working with the real people.
In most cases, this is what it would be like to a point. You know, it'd be a little bit more chaotic, you know, but it's fun doing it. It's a good experience. And in a way, it's just like training.
Some argue the script approval process is a form of censorship, a charge Vince Ogilvy vehemently denies.
We cannot stop a movie from being made. If you want to get your movie made, you can get that movie made with or without us.
Allowance is often made for the fact that a movie is a fiction, a made-up story, and that filmmakers have personal visions of how their story should be told.
I felt like the Pentagon was very forgiving when it came to understanding that there were certain leaps you have to make in science fiction. And so the combination was great.
DoD will support projects that convey the military in a realistic light. It doesn't all have to be roses and bunnies, but it has to be realistic.
Cut. Cut.